Hello, the internet, and welcome back to the live stream. It is Saturday, the 15th of June, 2019, and today I will be live for 32 minutes. You just caught me slightly unawares. I was just watching the chat scrolling, and Mad Max joined at the very last second. Faffy Day's in the house. Mewtube's in the house as well. Going back to the very top, I want to say hello to Hamish. Hamish was there first. Actually, no, Tim Arkskog was there first, but he was there way early. Like, does that man ever sleep? I even asked him that in the chat, and he says he doesn't sleep much these days. Thanks for jumping in early. And then Northrump MJ. Actually, let's scroll back up there for me to see so I don't miss anybody. Mark the Traveller was in the house. He's jumping back out. He'll come back in shortly. Mindy, Northrop MJ. Looking further down, Dad's Piranhas. He's in the house too. He hasn't changed his handle yet. I suggested he might want to change it last week, but I don't think he has. His handle is Dad's Piranha. New sentence. Pipes and, one word, metal detecting piranha. I mean, props to having a unique handle. You're welcome to it. I just think maybe it's easier to say if it was just one or the other. Looking further down, he had to duck out. He'll be back in 5. And Tim and Mindy are chatting about vacation. We call that a holiday in Australia, but Mindy knows it as a vacation. She's just got back from one, and some fantastic photos there from her as well, and some videos. She's got some stuff coming up on her YouTube channel. Who else have we got in the house there? Looking further down, we've got, I said Faffy Day, Mad Max, Tad Hug O'Keefe. Tad, good to see you, buddy. Jetmax, hello Jetmax, watching because there's no surf. Yeah, well, I haven't checked mine this morning yet. I'll kind of focus on the stream and then I'll duck out there for a wave, hopefully. Mark the Traveller's back. G'day, Mark. How you going? Michael says good morning. Pete R in the house. G'day, both Pete and Michael. Faffy Day. And Stephen's in the house. G'day, Stephen. Mewtube, beautiful day in Apollo Bay. Get the board and come down. Oh, you're on a vacation, Mewtube. Nice to see. Apollo Bay is a lovely spot. Let's bring the chat in for everybody to engage with. I want to say good morning and happy times. It's good to be back here. Feeling fine, feeling fantastic. The weather's cold. We are. What are we? We must be close to the winter solstice. Tim, do you know that? Do you know when the winter solstice is? Is it the 15th of June or is it like the 16th or the 14th? I feel like it could fall sort of anywhere in between that day, the other side or the front of it. What's the bottle of Jack doing, bro, in the back? Good question, Tag. Tad. The little H and the G confuses me in your handle. Tadka. That bottle of Jack is going to be opened in 8 more streams. Now, I would have said 8 more weeks, but it's actually not going to be 8 weeks because coming up in July, it's July time. I'll be live every day in July, and that will come up a lot faster than 8 weeks because every day is a stream, and that comes up every 10 streams where we'll crack it and drink it. So we'll talk about that when it happens. I don't want to blow the steam. It's a beautiful looking bottle of Jack, and it's one I've never tasted either. So super excited for that. Good evening, Mark the Traveller says. No idea. Okay, so Tim doesn't know. Angus Ferguson, how you going, buddy? Your brother's in the chat too earlier. Say good day to your brother, Angus Hamish. Live every day in July. Julive. It's a movement that Danny Black started last year, and I'm going to do it this year. There will be one little hitch, though, and I'll address that when we get closer to it or when we get involved in it, but there is a little hitch. But July, live every day, and also you'll be getting a double banger from me. In fact, this is a bit nuts. You're going to be getting 3 videos from me every day in July. You're going to get a live stream, you're going to get a wave a day, and you're going to get my daily vlog. And somewhere in there as well, I'm going to make regular content, my regular full-length vlogs. July is going to be a nuts month for me, and I'll also be doing live streams on DLive. But I don't like talking about DLive too much here on YouTube, and the reason that is because I only use DLive to bring more crew from there over to the YouTube. I don't want to send necessarily my YouTube givers across to DLive. There's no real point. I mean, there is if you want to enjoy some content, but this is always going to be my focus right here on the YouTube. But I am live, and yeah, Northrop MJ, she's been over on DLive a lot. Scotty Ventures was over there last night, and I've got some crew here from DLive that are back in the YouTube chat too. So it's kind of working well. It's a strange platform, DLive, and I'm nobody. I'm new. I'm just kind of getting a feel for it, but don't want to talk too much about it here on YouTube. Yeah, see YouTube. Yeah, you can't keep up. Well, it's going to be a banging month for July, I can tell you now. Tad says you pronounce my name Tig, as in tiger without the R. Tig. Okay, cool. Very cool. Angus says he's buying some merch today. Buy that merch. Thanks, man. That'd be cool. That'd be really cool of you. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the support. If you want to buy merch, that's what I always say. There's so many ways to be a giver here on the channel. You can give by just consuming. That's fine. You can give by supporting the channel financially, and I've got many different ways you can do that. There's the Patreon, there's merchandise, there's one-time donations through PayPal. There's all kinds of ways you can become a giver here to help the channel. So I appreciate it all. Thank you. Winter solstice is the 22nd of June. So we are about 7 days away from that, when it's the coldest and longest day of, not technically the coldest, but the longest day of the year. Oh, sorry, the shortest day of the year in the Southern Hemisphere, longest day in the year in the Northern Hemisphere. A strong Irish name, says MewTube. So look, I have to acknowledge something. The conversation topic for today, don't talk it up, because what if it doesn't happen? I'm guilty of that myself this week. You know how I talked up streaming from Stephen and how it was going to start tomorrow, Sunday, 1 p.m. Well, not 100% happy with how it looked. So I did 3 test streams, and one of them fluked it and came up really nice, and the other 3, not so good. And I've put it down to, and I can prove it too, but I put it down to my laptop not being a powerful enough stream computer, a host computer for the stream. So, and the way I proved it was by taking my iMac. It's so stupid. I took my whole iMac into SteveAn. I lay it down on its side so I could access the ports, and I could still see the monitor. And I did a test stream, and it was flawless. So what that tells me is I need a more powerful either laptop or a more powerful streaming computer for the van. Now, Apple do make the Mac Mini, which I've had no need for ever before now, but it sort of works out to be the perfect stream computer because it's headless, so you don't need to use a mouse or a keyboard with it. I've got the Stream Deck in SteveAn. That's going to control the stream. All I need is a little crappy HDMI monitor that you can get from the op shop for like $20 or whatever. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy a Mac Mini. Now, I mentioned before about being financial contributors to the channel. Well, anyone that's bought anything through my affiliate links, so if you click any of the links in my description fields, you're on Amazon, no matter what you buy from there, I get a kickback from it. I get a bigger kickback if you buy the product you clicked, but not necessarily. So over the last, well, since the channels began, I've got enough money in my Amazon affiliate links to buy a Mac Mini outright. So thank you again to the givers. The only catch is Amazon only pay out at the end of the month. So it's now the middle of the month, so I can't do that until the end of June at the very earliest. Well, that's when I can get the payment. Then I've got to buy the Mac Mini and set it up. So I'm guilty of this. Don't talk something up, because what if it doesn't happen? It makes you look like a twat. Like I feel like I'm letting you guys down by not being able to stream from SteveAn tomorrow at 1 p.m. because I said I would. And look, I could, but it would be rubbish, and I don't want to deliver a crap product. You know that about me and this content and this layout. I'm trying to deliver good quality content. So that's why I decided to have this discussion today with you guys about talking something up when it doesn't happen. How does it make you feel? Now, I've been ignoring the chat while I deliver that spiel. Let's have a look back at what we've missed. Okay, so Faffy Day says there was a Swans player called Tsidiga? That's a cool name, Tsidiga. This is my channel. I'm only Tim in this village. I'm not sure what that refers to, Tim, but anyway, that's cool. Michael, aka WIE. Good night there. Greetings from Poland. G'day, Michael. Welcome to Gives a Minute, the live stream. You're welcome from Poland, man. I've been in your country a few times. I love the place. Hi to Michael. Everyone's saying hi to Michael. Michael, not that Michael, another Michael also says he has a Mac Mini. It's a solid workhorse. Very cool. I'm glad to know that. Now, I did... I want to talk a little bit about the Apple situation just before we move on to this discussion point, because there has been an update with my iMac. You know, this one I'm using right now is not mine. This is a replacement. The one, like my one, was supposedly getting replaced or refunded by Apple. The news for that is a big fat thumbs down. Apple just said no, flat out no. And here is their response to me. I want to read you a portion of this. Not you can read the whole thing yourself if you want to pause it later on. But that first paragraph is the clincher. It says, so this is from Fair Trading, not from Apple, but they're dealing with Apple on my behalf. Your concerns were brought to the attention of Miss Melissa Young, an executive liaison at Apple Pty Ltd. Miss Young advised after investigating the matter, she found the authorized repairer, the guys I took the computer to because I'm nowhere near an Apple store, said there is no hardware issues with the unit. Miss Young stated as there has not been any hardware issues found, they are not prepared to offer any redress at this point, although they are very unlikely to offer any redress in the future either, as the machine was purchased in 2015. Now, we already have dealt with that time frame issue. Basically, what Apple is saying, and make no mistake with this, with an Apple product, 4.5 years is the lifespan of their machine. So if whatever you buy from Apple, whether it be a handy, a cell phone, a mobile device, a laptop, an iPad, a screen for $1,000 with the stand, extra 1,000. Whatever it is you buy, they're only suggesting you get 4.5 years maximum out of it. Any more than that, and you're lucky. So my situation is, I have a machine that is sitting in the, I'm going to put the chat back up, sitting in the authorized repair station for me to pick up. The repairer swears that it's fine. Apple say that it's fine, which leads me to the question, what the hell happened to it for it to fail repeatedly for me? Why would my machine just stop working? Apple, in another email, Apple suggested a software issue. So my first port of call will be complete refresh of the whole system, like a factory reset, if you like ones and zeros on the hard drive, setting it up from the get-go again, and only installing the software that I need. Because maybe I've installed software over the years that I didn't know of, and bloatware and whatnot, some nefarious website might have installed something. You don't know, but I'm just saying, for Apple to say that's what made our machine shut down, I think it's a little bit far-fetched, but that's what they're suggesting. Other people were saying at the time that it could be your power coming into the house. I've always ran a surge board. I've now got a second surge board, which happened when the first pop happened. I put a Belkin surge board in there. And if that was the case, you'd think the one that I'm using right now would have popped as well, right? This has been on for the whole time that since this has happened, I've had this iMac and I've had no issues with the power. So it's not the power. So the lesson here is 4.5 years for an Apple product. If a product from Apple fails and you're outside of that Apple Care warranty, they'll dust their hands of it. I'm not getting any joy from Apple at all. I'm going to have my iMac back probably in the next week and a half. I've got to go and pick it up. I've got to go out of my way again and pick it up. From here to Albion Park, it's not a short drive to go and pick it up. And also, because I went and opened it up myself and I cracked the screen, not only have I got my iMac back, but I've got an iMac back with a cracked screen, which wouldn't have happened. Look, it wouldn't have happened if I was more careful, but it wouldn't have happened if I didn't have to open the thing up in the first place because Apple wouldn't repair it in the first place. I'm a little bit pissed at that, I'm going to be honest, but that's where we're at. I wanted to inform you. So looking at that, I'm about to go and buy a Mac Mini. Sounds silly, doesn't it? I'm heavily invested in the Apple ecosystem. I have Final Cut Pro, I have Logic, I have my setup, I have everything for this Apple ecosystem since 2004 when I became a graphic designer. I'm not about to jump ship now. Only 2 likes, Faffy Day says. Get the likes up. Oh, yeah, well, whatever, man. I don't really mind. Whatever. If you don't like it, dislike it. I'm fine with the likes versus dislikes thing. Doesn't bother me. Tim says, that's longer than the lifespan of 3-ish months with an Apple Watch. Tim, you've got to make a video about this, man. You always talk about your Apple Watch display. Have I mentioned their poor attitude in this display? So you got to make a video about that, Tim. So let's jump into the topic of discussion, though. I did ask you, actually, there's one other thing I got to address. There will be no Outdoor Man with a Van this week. There's no change to Stevan. So I've been talking about the streaming from Stevan, and it's ready to go. The only difference is I don't have a streaming computer that's suitable. So there's no point doing an Outdoor Man with a Van. I could sit there and say, for 2 minutes, you know about this, and you know about that, you know about... I've done it all. There's no change to the vehicle. YouTube's got a roll. No worries, man. See you, buddy. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great weekend in Apollo Bay. Get out there on a wave if you can, if you got a board. Yeah, so nothing to talk about with Stevan until the Mac Mini arrives or until something else happens. But there's nothing, I don't want to give you content when it's not valid, right? There's no point talking about Stevan. But we want to jump into the topic, and I asked you guys about blowing your own trumpet when you don't even know if you've got an orchestra backing you up. And the comments came in. We had this one here from Pete R, who was in the chat earlier. I haven't seen him since then. He said he keeps quiet a lot because I don't want to jinx things. Jinxing is probably the word I was looking for, the word jinx. You don't want to jinx it, because if you believe in this, not extraterrestrial, but extrasensory person, and if you believe in that kind of thing, and if you do jinx it, then you're the one that causes it. But if that's only if you believe in that. I was going to say mumbo jumbo, but it's not necessarily mumbo jumbo. But yeah, that's what Pete R had to say. And then Yama, who has come across from the D Live, I believe. Oh, there you go. Pete's still there. He's quiet right now. Okay, cool. Yama, he says, I told everyone that I was going to get a job at AMC since all of his friends worked there and they put in a good word for him. Then he didn't get the job. Now, that's a classic example of blowing your own trumpet. You're like, well, all of my mates work there. They're going to get me a job. So you go and tell all your other friends, I'm going to be working at Factory X or Planet Z. And then you don't get the job. And it's like, dude, what happened to that job? Yeah, I didn't get it. That's why you don't say anything. Just zip it up, keep it to yourself. And then when you get the job, hey fellas, I got the job at Factory Z. I got the job at Planet A. And then you're like, wicked, man, we worked there too. Cool. That's Yama. He had a second one as well. And he said he talked up playing video games. He talked up his skills with his friends. So they loaded up a game of Apex and he choked every single time they played it. So he can't actually play the game, but he said he could. Again, I hope that wasn't live, and I hope you weren't putting money on it, because yeah, you're no good. Don't say things unless you know for a fact. That's the key message here. It's me, Jonah, has definitely come across from D-Live. G'day, Jonah. Good to see you here, buddy. Thanks for your support on D-Live, the lemons and the ice creams. And if you don't know what that is, you'll only know if you go to D-Live. G'day, Will Kenyon. Good morning. How are you, buddy? Joel Santiago, Supernatural. That's the word I was looking for. And hello, Joel. I've not seen you in the chat before, but you're welcome here. Thanks for stopping by. Joel Santiago, what a cool name. So Jonah has to say, I always talk crap about beating my friends, again in gaming, on one-on-one on Fortnite. And they kick my butt and I look like an idiot. Jonah, the lesson there is don't ever say that. We had Patrick Becomes, and I want to talk about Patrick Becomes in a second, but he's suggested an interesting take on it, which is something I hadn't actually thought of. I'd say talk it up a little bit, and then if you reach like 75% of that goal, you can live with the rest not being achieved. It puts a positive spin on it, because then you hold yourself accountable to attain that other percentage. But he says there's also circumstances that can change what I've talked up. No biggie, really. I try to adjust, get better, not put too much energy into it. That is a thought pattern I hadn't put together. It's almost like you're tired but glad to see this. Will, what time have you got wherever you are, Will? But I see you said you're tired. That's a good thought, a good way to think about it. It's like if you say something and you document it, then you're basically holding yourself accountable to achieve it. But the thing is, like, I go back to years ago, or not years ago, a number of years ago, when someone like that I was associated with here on YouTube would suggest things like, I'm going over to Switzerland to do some skateboard filming for Red Bull. And I'm like, oh, really? Is that all? Is that what you got an endorsement with Red Bull? What's going on? Yeah, they're paying for everything. I'm going over. It's gonna be sick. Oh, cool, man, wicked. And then there's this, we're going to do a road trip from Sydney down to Melbourne, and we're going to have Audi provide us with a vehicle because they're all over it. They love our channel, and both of those things never happen. And it's like, dude, did they even exist, or was it just in your imagination that you thought you could achieve them? And when you don't achieve them, you look like an absolute twat. And I guess Patrick Becomes suggestion where you can hold yourself accountable. Yes and no, that works in some instances, but if you're talking about someone such as Audi or Red Bull supporting you and doing this and that, you've either signed a contract or you haven't, basically. So I would suggest that some ways that could work. Got to probably rest in a couple of minutes, man. 1:19 a.m. No worries, Michael, aka WIE. I understand, dude. It's a strange time. The beauty of these streams are 32 minutes today, 33 minutes next week, 34. And as you see, this is going to get progressively longer and longer until I'm going to be here for 12 hours streaming. So that will make everyone's time slots more suitable It'll make me tired, but it'll be fun. And that's the plan with this stream, to get longer and longer and longer and longer and longer and have different engaging content. It won't always just be me chatting like this. I'm going to have, hopefully when I get better internet, I'm going to have guests and stuff, and we'll cross that when it gets to there. But that's the plan. So go to bed now and come back in 8 months when we get a longer stream. No, not 8 months. Come back next week if you can. Set an alarm and wake up in the middle of the night. So Patrick becomes, dude, this guy, he's a Swedish man. As Tim correctly pointed out, he looks like the Viking, the techno Viking. He looks like this dude. He's a big muscly dude with a massive red beard, like YouTube stated as well. And he's surfing. And he claims he's the biggest kook on YouTube. But I take that claim, dude. That's my call. I claimed that. But he says it in his banner is like the biggest kook on YouTube. And what he's doing, and 100% props to the guy. He went surfing early in 2018 for the first time, somewhere in Turkey, I think, or in France. Somewhere where there's not notably known for great waves. And he got the bug. He got the bug big time. He's like, man, I got to get better at surfing. So then he went across and did a surf camp. And someone at the surf camp said, man, you should be an instructor. That way you can learn yourself faster. So now he's living in Bali for, I think it's 4 months, and surfing every day in Bali and documenting it, just like I do with my wave a day, but he's doing it every day. Now, he doesn't surf every day because obviously a 4-month period is like a big ask, but whenever he is surfing, he's out there documenting it. He had a GoPro that fell off and he lost it, so then he had to use he had to make content where he didn't have any surf footage, so he had to talk around it. And we've seen other content where he talks about his history. Now, Tim says the Techno Surfing Viking. What I want to do is I want to show you his channel. This is it here. If I go full screen on that sucker, he hasn't really got a great channel layout. In fact, that's it. That's the layout of his channel. That's as far as it goes. But these uploads here are the daily content. And this here is his trailer. And I really want to show you, where's my mouse gone? I really want to show you his trailer. So what I'm going to do is, I've already been watching it. I'm going to put it back to the start. And I'm going to play you his trailer. And it's only 1:16, but it's a really good introduction to this guy. And then I want you to go over to his channel and hit up I was going to say sponsor him as well if you've got product. But I do want you to go over and check out his content. Now, I'm just seeing a little bit of staggering there on my data. Just bear with me 1 second. I can see what's going on here. We are dropping some frames there, I think. Not frames, but the kilobits has just gone down, down, down. Is anyone else seeing a little bit of stalling there? Is it just me? Do we have a little bit of buffering? I did see some buffering there. I hope I've resolved that. I saw some buffering. I don't know if it's just at my end, but I did see some, so I hope I've resolved it. Let's, well, you know what? Before we do that, let's just jump back out. I just want to make sure, did anyone else... Okay, so you saw a little bit, but it was just at my end maybe. Okay, cool. That's good to know. I don't want to ruin this stream, but I did see some... Still good. Buffering a bit down here, Tim says. Okay, cool. Good to know, good to know. Let's jump back out, back to the Viking, the Techno Viking. Here we go. So this is his channel, and I want to play you his channel trailer. So let's hit that up. I'll kill this background audio, and let's...
In the cold north of Sweden, where every drop of water is unsurfable. This is not a life. I can't take it anymore. People make money online. I need a camera that can handle widescreen, aspect ratio 16:9. I need a logo. I'm heading over the mountains tomorrow. Finally a bottle of water that's not frozen. I think I'm close to the surf. All my life, the mermaids has been calling me. They're calling again. I'm coming, mermaids. It's time to become a surfer. 2018, Patrick caught his first wave and surfed for 2 months. Now, he's in Tagasuit Surf Bear Bear. They claim they can make him a surf instructor level 1 in 3 months. The question is, how big can Patrick go in 2019?
Whoa. Do you see... Is that stream offline? No, it says I'm still connected here. That doesn't make sense. That's really, really strange. Do you see it offline? I see it online. That's particularly strange. I see more buffering. I see offline, back up now. I didn't see a drop there. That's really, really strange. I'm looking at the stream as it happens, and I'm not seeing any glitches at all. Very, very concerning. Anyway, did you catch that? Did you catch the Patrick Becomes trailer? I'll tell you what I'll do. If you didn't catch it, I've posted a link in the chat to his channel. So go and hit that link after the fact and watch that for yourself. I'm not so sure what happened then. Yeah, Jetmax, maybe... So Pete R as well, if you see a brief offline message, I think you've got to just refresh your page. Because like I said, I'm literally watching my stream on a secondary computer on a secondary Wi-Fi, so that's my ADSL Wi-Fi, and it never went down at my end. It's very concerning because that's not even the logged in. That's not the YouTube that's logged in to create the stream. That's on this machine. That's completely separate, and it never went down for me. But anyway, yeah, go over to Patrick Becomes. Hit up his channel and give him a. I tell you what, if you do go over there, say g'day from me. Say I sent you, because we're trying to spread this surfing mission love, if you like. Yeah, Joel Santiago says it's still good here. I don't get that. Like it was fine for me. It was good for Joel. Some of you reported dropping out. YouTube, what's going on? Hey, that reminds me. There was a video that the Creator Insider channel put out, which was really, really strange. I don't want to... You know what we should do? We should take requests. What should we discuss next week? I've already got a thought of what we can discuss, and it's going to be that video from Creator Insider, because it's a particularly strange video. Message said the live stream was offline. Did you hit refresh though, Pete R? I did mention that I came from Gives a Minute. I saw that, Tim. Oh, so you guys have been over there already, Pete R and Tim. Nice work. Look, I think I want to take requests from the audience. I want you guys to contribute to the chats to see what we want to discuss. But it needs to kind of be done like... So typically I've been putting out a video when you guys see it on a Friday morning, which is what I'm going to talk about on the Saturday on the live stream. So there's a day buffer zone there, if you like, to coin the word buffer. But I feel like if you want something to be discussed in particular, maybe the Discord is the place for that, or yeah. And Pete R says he didn't even need to refresh. It kicked him back on his own. Very strange. Vision was offline, chat was working, and then after a minute the play button came back on. Very, very strange. Very, very... In this particular case, I'm baffled because I'm looking here on Wirecast. I've dropped 3 frames in a total of 28 minutes. That's unheard of. That's good, and it wouldn't make any sense that the stream disappeared. It could be the inbound servers at YouTube skitzed out for a while. I don't know. We don't know. We'll never know. But what do you think? Do you think that we could have... If you're not on the Discord server, jump over there. But how will we get there? I've got to give you a link, don't I? So the link... You know what? How do we do this? Discord... See, I don't even like Discord, but Stokerboda, who's not in the chat these days, but he was pumping me up for Discord. And I think it is a kind of a decent way to... Or is it? Like, you guys can comment on my videos. You can comment on my community tab. Why don't you just post if you have anything that you want to talk about on this stream, then make a comment on any video. Just say, hey man, I thought of something for the live stream. Or even comment on this. That's probably the best way to do it. Comment on the stream that's happened the week before. Just say, I had an idea for this stream. What do you think about talking about this or that? And then we can go from there. Mark the Traveller says, when people use a death that gets world attention and to scam people. But I feel like we've done that, Mark the Traveller. That was your suggestion a couple of weeks ago, faking your own death. We've done that. So we won't go there again. Plus, it's pretty dark, I'm going to be honest. But we won't need to go there again to discuss that. But I appreciate your suggestion. But I've got an idea for next week already. I want to talk about this Creator Insider video that came out and why it's particularly strange. It's in relation to copyright. So it's I think it's about 4 days ago that it came out. So if you want to go and have a look at it, like prior to the stream, it's the one where they talk about the copyright matching tool, I think it's called, the copyright matching tool. Yeah. What's this all about today? I'm so drunk at a pub and I can't hear. GoPro stock. Thanks for swinging by, dude. Go back to your beers. We're almost finished here. We were talking about not blowing your own trumpet, which is something that I did this week, and my trumpet turned around and blew all the hot air into my face. So I'd rather be at the pub having a beer with you. At the moment, I'm having a water. I'm about to go surfing, and this stream is almost wrapping up. Can I? Yes, I can. I can hear my outro bass line. This has been a fun chat. Sorry for the technical glitches, technical hiccups. YouTube, thanks very much for that. Out of my control. See you next week, folks. Giddy up. Giddy up? I don't say giddy up. I just did. Oh, that's we're out of time.